Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Agility Series channel and today's webinar topic, 3 Steps to High-Performing Teams, which is being hosted by our guest presenters, Claude Emond and Charlotte Goudreault. My name is Larry Cooper, and I'll be your host. The Agility Series channel brings you the latest ideas and research into agility across the organization, not just in software and product development. We'll have our own speakers as well as special invited guests who will present on topics that will enhance the discussions and our understanding of agility. Our next webinar will be 1 week from today, which will be the global launch event for our Adaptive Strategy Framework. If you've not already done so, I'd like to recommend that you register after today's event is over on our webinar channel and check back often as we'll be adding some exciting new sessions in the coming weeks. The tools in today's presentation by Claude and Charlotte will be provided to you for download after the webinar is finished. So on today's webinar, Claude and Charlotte are partners in Qualiscope, but also partners in life. Charlotte is a certified NLP coach with over 20 years of experience in multidisciplinary projects in the fields of R&D, engineering, construction, socioeconomics, education, as well as international projects in Vietnam and the Philippines. She's developed and delivered agile team building and development workshops based on NLP, appreciative inquiry, and generative collaboration as parts of master's degrees in project management given by the CZ Network of Schools in France. She designed and gave the team building and management part of an agile project management program offered by the University of Montreal, and she also developed and leads the team alignment and agility workshops offered by the Institute of Product Development. Claude has 30 years in project management and extensive international experience in creating and leading high-performing teams. He's recognized internationally as an expert in project management, transformational change, and organizational agility, and has given conferences and training workshops in Canada, the USA, Brazil, Morocco, France, Sweden, and Southeast Asia. He was one of the co-authors of the first international standard on project portfolio management for the PMI in 2006. Claude has also taught specialized project management programs for York University, Laval University, ETS, and the University of Montreal. And he also teaches organizational agility and agile project management for the CZ Group of Schools in France. So we're very pleased to have such two extremely talented and experienced individuals host today's webinar. So without any further ado, I'll turn it over to Claude and Charlotte.
Okay, thank you very much, Larry. There seems to be a little delay, but fine. Okay, we're going. Annette and I are very pleased to be with you. We will. Sorry, there's some. Okay, some noise. Okay, let's start again. Okay, we're very pleased to be with you today, and we will be each presenting specific parts of the seminar. And we will sometimes interact jointly, not too often, okay, to make sure it's not chaos, when needed, both during the presentation and during the question period at the end. Just as if we were all together around our table, and Charlotte and I are just telling you a story about our journey dealing with teams.
In order to maintain the flow of the presentation and respect time limits, we will answer questions you might write during the formal presentation only during the period reserved for that at the end. So let's begin. What we will share with you today is the result of more than 30 years of managing projects, consulting, coaching, and training project teams and the search for better team performance and better project results.
Okay, the purpose of the webinar is really twofold. Okay, first, we will show that. There's a little delay. That's okay. Okay. First, we will show that engagement of project and other work teams is not something that is given. Such engagement comes before performance. And basically, to maintain the strength and of this engagement and to have continuous engagement, it is essential to have high performance team and success.
Secondly, we will present you a 3-step approach inspired by agile techniques and our own experience in projects and propose you some tools that will enable you to build and maintain engaged high-performing work and project teams. Let's begin with some contextual information about our current business environment and why being agile matters more than ever. The 21st century marks the birth of the project age, a set of trends fostering the need to innovate, therefore the multiplication of projects, and the advent of constant changes, such as the globalization of markets, worldwide competition, smaller windows of opportunities, increasingly faster time to market, demand-driven production, increasingly limited resources, and a lot of turbulence and uncertainty in a constantly changing environment. VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, as most of you probably know, resulting in the need of agility to recover benefits as quickly as possible while conditions are favorable. Volatility does not only impact our external business environment. It impacts our employees, project, and other work teams. In their daily work in a typical organization, people divide their time between recurring tasks, operations, and project work, have to work on many projects at once. They take part in multidisciplinary and multifunctional projects. They also work on a set of projects and other activities whose priority for the organization is unclear. Consequently, people decide on their own on which activity they work, unless there are emergencies imposed by their boss, the emergency of the day. All this has increased the need to be more agile together. The nature of our business environment and the nature of our human capital, we do not talk about resources anymore, force us to switch into an agile, highly collaborative mode, adaptive. So it's not this type of environment anymore. It's not the calm lake where we all row and the only one seeing where we go is the coxswain, the helmsman. But we are into white water rafting, in which we hope that they know what they do and especially that they are willing to do it. Consequently, the number one issue in organizations and groups of all kinds is to align different personal and group interests to get individual and team engagement, as already observed by Albert Einstein, so it's not yesterday's news. A perfection of means and confusion of aims seems to be our main problem.
The answer to all this confusion of aims is really to align. Align personal, individual interests with group interests, and which we align both of them in personal and in individual and group interests. They have to be aligned with the organizational interest. Why aligning people is so important to high performance and success. This is what we will explain now by linking alignment with what we call people or employee engagement. The state of employee engagement worldwide is not very well, is not very good. This is a study from Gallup, which was made in 2013, and they do one every 2 years. And what it states there is that in average, the employee engagement in the world is about 13%. We're not faring too bad here in America, with an average engagement of 30%. And what's a bit complicated is for each person who is engaged, there's 2% who are actively disengaged. It means that they do sabotage or something like that. But it's a very, very small level of engagement in organization. In America only, if we look at 30% engagement, then 70% non-engagement, this means that there's a loss of productivity of more than $600 billion a year. due to the lack of engagement. Engaged people account for bad business performance. For that, we just have to look at what is happening to the project we invest so much money in and we work on. According to studies by TOP, and by the Boston Consulting Group, about 30% of projects deliver no measurable results, basically no value. Of the remaining 60%, over half of it fail to deliver a significant amount of possible business benefits, and they often miss the mark or the target by more than 50%. Gerard Bradley, who is the British benefit realization management guru, he's very well known worldwide about benefit realization management. Basically says the following thing. He says, without a structured approach like benefit realization management, this is his approach, most organizations deliver probably between 10 and 25% of potential benefits. But as many others, when he mentions benefits, he talks mainly about business benefits. But business benefits are not the only benefits we have to deal with. In fact, they will not materialize if we do not address the benefits to our own project team member and other stakeholders, since those people, they also want, some benefits from their contribution to our business benefits. This little graph will try to explain all that. We have what we call the famous S-curve, the S-curve, that we see in normal project management or traditional project management. This is, the earned value curve. This is what we have completed. It's very similar to what we use in the agile world. They call it the burn-up curve. The only difference is that there we talk about real value and not earned value. Basically, what we have completed is useful. But we're looking at the value to the customer, or to the one who is paying for the project. Basically, we won't be able to achieve those benefits if we don't start first with engaging our team. The people who work with us on those projects, they have personal interests, and those interests dictate their engagement. No interest, no engagement. And no engagement, no performance. And the story does not finish there, because actually it's a daily work, to make sure that people are engaged. Because there is another curve. This is a curve that comes from being paid, the payment of benefits. This will ensure that the engagement will be sustained and that we will have high performance and ultimately succeed our project. It's not good enough to engage people at the start and forget about that. It's a continuous challenge to make sure that people are engaged, and they're engaged because they receive benefits, not at the end of the project. They receive the benefits all along, all the way, during all the journey they do with you.
So we need to engage our team and motivate them through what interests them. We will explain now which conditions have to be put in place to create engagement and keep it. According to Vroom's expectancy theory of motivation, engagement is function of two things: a person's or group's capability and the desirability to the work needed. We engage if and when we are capable to do what is asked from us. We have to answer yes to the question, can I do it? Capability is see and know and can. It's shared knowledge of context, the what and the why. That's what we have to see. It's knowing having the expertise, the technical knowledge, so that is the how. And can is the know-how, the experience, the tools, and other required resources, plus individual availability, which is certainly not 100% in a multi-project, multitask context in this world. We also engage when it is worth it. When we can answer to both, does it give me some benefits, and is it worth the effort? effort for me, the effort. The desirability is wanting. This is an essential condition to team collaboration. It's the what's in it for me that we all talk about and all wish to have. Personal benefits are related to working on a given activity, and interest and return on effort. Individuals also try to maximize the value-effort ratio for themselves, not only for the team or for the organization. In a multi-project, multi-task context, it is a major issue to address. Engagement, because I can and I want, will emerge and continue to flourish if, among others, the following 8 conditions are met and maintained. The first condition being the desire to participate. If it is not there, we'll have no sustainable progress is possible. There is mutual trust also as a condition, otherwise we'll get sabotage. Shared vision is the next essential, with what otherwise it will lead to confusion. And the know-how, without which we'll get a lot of anxiety from not knowing what to do or how to do it. The resources are important. If there is no resources, there will be a lot of anger, and there is a lot of anger in our organization. Recognition, incentives. Otherwise, we'll have random performance. It will be the Rogers curve. The very involved will be really performing, but the others might be not at all, or even sabotaging at the end. Participative action plan. So otherwise, we'll get a false start. If people are not in it from the start, they will not have a real start. Fast, short-term neutral benefits, which otherwise will lead to loss of interest and of momentum. So these three last conditions in the red rectangle show those conditions that have to do with desirability. The others are addressing mainly capability.
Okay, when we think about them, basically, it's condition of continuous engagement. Well, it's function of the benefits and the delivery of value to everyone. When we talk about the last condition, mutual benefits, and the link between continuous engagement and those benefits, we have to ask ourselves, benefits for whom and benefit when? For whom and for when? For sure, okay, for whom, okay, we have to get benefits to all stakeholders. This includes, and it's very often forgotten, this includes the project or the work team directly assigned for execution of the given activity or the given project. When, okay, sure, okay, everyone wants that at the end of a project, after the activity is completed, and or at the transfer of the activity's deliverables, we have delivered values. And this delivery of value can last for many, many years, especially for the stakeholder who are using the deliverable in a recurring manner. But there's another when. We have to deliver those benefits every day, every hour, during execution of the activity, and each of its delivery steps, stage, phases, and iteration. Both of the users of the future deliverables and those who produce them need and want benefits. So business benefits at the end are a result of all those other benefits to stakeholder delivered before and continuous during the project. What I'm trying to say is that you won't get your benefit, your business benefits, if you don't deliver benefits before to the stakeholders. That means a lot of people. Your project teams comprise all the project stakeholders and their expected benefits. And this is all the stakeholders that have to be managed. Usually, what we see in the past, well, you have the project team, and you have the one who execute the work, then you have the sponsor, then you have the users, and they all considered in traditional project management as outside of the team. But modern project management, agile project management, we consider that all of the stakeholders are part of your team. And as a manager of a team, project or otherwise, you have to take care and you have to manage the benefits, the delivery of the benefits to all of the stakeholders. How can I do this on my project or as an operation manager? This is what we're going to explain now. Okay, we're at the second part of the presentation, where we will present the three-step approach to high-performing agile teams. The first step is called planning together. But what does it really mean, and how do we do that? Very, very simple. It's something I learned from a student that told me one day, Claude, I did exactly what you asked me to do. And what did you do? Well, I make sure I knew about the benefits and the interests of the people working on my project. How did you do that? Well, I asked them. I was appalled. I was amazed. It's as simple as that. You start a project, you start an activity, you sit with the stakeholders around a table, and you just ask them what they want. Some people will tell me that it's not something we want to ask because people will ask money or something like that. It's not what happens. This is a typical example of what team member will tell you. They always say the same thing, and it gets you back to Maslow. Maslow, and it's used for something then. It's always the same basic benefits people ask. They want to belong to something. They want to have a purpose. They want to grow. They want to learn new stuff. And they want to be seen. They want to be recognized. This is all they ask for. And the cost of that is equal to nothing. It costs nothing to do that. Planning also, how do you do that? Is that planning, say, as ready to be done together. You ask them what they want. But also you do the planning with them. Okay? And this is what we call the last planner system. It comes from the Lean Construction Institute. And basically what it says is that, okay, the people who execute the work are the people who plan the work, and vice versa. Who is the last planner? The last planner is the person who will do the work. This is the designer. This is the supplier, the subcontractor, the sponsor, the ultimate user. And how do they plan? They plan together. It's participatory planning, collaborative planning, and they decide together who will do that when, and they decide of the nature of the deliverables. And really, the deliverables, most of the deliverables are for the business benefits. And many of the deliverables who are benefits reside in the how of the work. Then people don't have anything to say maybe about why we do the project or what we will deliver to the customer, but they have to have their say on how we do it. What it means is that when we will going to do the planning, either if you work with WBS, work breakdown structure, in the traditional way, or you work with Post-it and Scrum Ban, Kanban, or storyboards, well, you do it with people together around the table or around a board. And what you do is that you have to include into the deliverables the expectations and the interests that people talk about when we ask them what they wanted. And then you build the project around meeting the business benefits, but also doing it through meeting the interests of everyone.
Step 2 is to measure together. Together is a very important word here. Personal satisfaction. So people think you met my interests through specific team performance elements linked to this satisfaction. We can do that by designing a dashboard measuring so-called intangible feelings in the form of a radar, a very popular way to measure things in the agile world. We have two examples here. So we designed such a radar, starting with measuring team behaviors proven to be linked to higher team performance. We got those key behaviors from Olivier Zaha's work on collective intelligence. We have included the link to his book on the subject here, provided by Olivier himself, free on SlideShare. We selected 7 key team behaviors: peer support, openness, listening, autonomy, discussion, leadership, and engagement. Then we built a radar that we call the Zara's Team Performance Radar. Teams are using it to track how those behaviors improve over time through capturing individual assessments by team members who score what they perceive at a given time on a scale of 1, rarely occurring, to 5, always occurring, to discuss it among themselves for improvement. Here is a typical example of what a team finds about those behaviors early into a new project. A lot of disparities, which is normal. The large ovals are disparities, which is normal since they have to learn to work together and care for each other's interests and expected benefits. Now here is a typical example of what a mature, high-performing team finds out after working together for a while to improve those 7 behaviors. You have to note that the engagement behavior in this radar is directly linked to delivering. No, not at all. That's not the one. You have to know that the engagement behavior is directly linked to delivering the expected individual benefits: to belong, to be recognized, to grow, to have a purpose. So it precedes all other behaviors directly linked to high performance. But in this example, and that's what I was wanting to underline for you, there seems to be still a little problem with openness. There is a larger oval there. And this could be circumstantial, linked to something that just happened or displease one team members. Results vary over time, but globally they should cluster most of the time around 4 or 5.
So we are planning together and we measure our team behaviors. But now, how do we ensure that we have engagement and high performance from doing that? This is where the third and final step comes into play. What we really do, very simply, is go back to the Scrum Guide, where they talk about those nice little retrospectives that we have to do at the end of every iteration. The closing of an iteration is done in 2 parts. We do some type of technical contents review, done, not done, and stuff like that. But also we look at process, behavioral contents, benefit value for individual or for the team. Is there something we have to change in the process or our own behaviors? This is what the red rectangle is showing us. This is where we're going to do something very special. Okay, we will simply use the radar as the base material to do this part of the retrospective. What we propose to do is to make a starfish retrospective, dealing specifically with the current results of the Zara team performance radar. Well, the star retrospective, you say, well, okay, this is what happened to us. This is why the radar is looking like that. Say we have a problem with openness. You don't need to try to solve every single part of the radar. They are all interrelated. You solve one, okay, you will have a good effect on the other one. Then, okay, I have a problem with openness. What should we stop to do? What should we do less? What should we do more? What we should continue to do? It's a lot of questions. It's many questions and in 5 parts. We can do it very simply, and we found we could do it this way also by using a 3-branch, what they call the 3-branch simplified starfish. You just find out, okay, what you have, why you have such result from the radar, and you post, just little post-it on the wall, some elements proposing to do 3 of the following things. What can we do to keep? What should we continue to do? Okay, keep doing. because it's okay. It has nothing to do with our problem. It's just a good thing to do. What should we stop doing, and what should we start doing? Then once we agree on which elements we should work on priority to improve the result of the radar, those elements become part of some type of a continuous improvement plan for the next iteration and for the rest of the project. And specific deliverables are linked to this plan and will be integrated in the next iteration.
Time to conclude now. Everyone on the same target, sharing the same dream, is every manager's dream. But we can see that it's not the way it works in our everyday life. We all have some people around who have different targets. So are all the stakeholders sharing, at least in part, the same dream? We found with time that the best way to do that was to create, maintain, and increase alignment and engagement, using those 3 steps to high-performance agile teams. We will align expectations in our planning together. We will measure together personal satisfaction and team performance using, in our case, Zara's radar. And we use retrospectives to integrate lessons learned and build continuous improvement activities into the next iteration by the way of the simplified starfish.
In conclusion, I would like to share with you what Jeff Sims said about benefit realization or value delivery. Jeff Sims is a international guru. He's an Australian international guru on benefit management and value delivery. What he wrote is the following thing. A project is a temporary structure created to deliver an agreed upon set of outcomes, benefits, and value for the business. We have the choice to deliver projects, programs, and portfolio, what he calls the orthodox vision, or to deliver outcomes, benefit, and value. We had to add a few words to that, because I think that what he's saying is now what we call the orthodox vision. You cannot only look at business value in your delivery. And you added those few words. You have to deliver an agreed upon set of outcomes, benefits, and value for the business, as well as for all the stakeholders, and this includes your direct project teams. And we have to deliver for sure outcomes, benefit, and value, not only for the business, but for all. And delivering the value to the stakeholders during the course of the project precedes the delivery of exceptional value at the end of the project. We have 3 attachments that are available with the live seminar. The first one is a PDF copy of the presentation you have here. We also included some worksheets, worksheets that you can use with your team just to fill in the radar. This is I call it a small individual worksheets. And I have 6 by page. You have 1 page. You have six little worksheets for a team of 6. If you're 7, you have to print another page. And you can print as many pages as you want, and you cut them out, and people just fill it, with the score from 1 to 5 for each of the elements. You can draw the performance radar on a wall, or you can take the results, from the worksheet, put them together in this Excel version of the radar that we provide for a team of 8. If you want a team of 9 or 10, well, you will have to figure out how to do it. Mm-hmm. But for a team of 8, which is a reasonable size for a team working on a small project, you will be able to have an electronic version of the Zara Team Performance Radar. They're all available as attachment if you click on the attachment link here. Now we will answer any question you can have now, and we hope we can do that in an orderly manner. And we should close the meeting or the webinar at 5. This is at 5 p.m. We have to stop. And we're just open to question. To ask us question, you have to just write your question in the question part of the website you're on right now. Any question? We have like 46 viewers. No question? We're crystal clear, or you understood nothing?
Claude, it's Larry.
Yeah, okay, Larry. Just go ahead. If there's no question, I think we can just go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask, like, in the situations where you guys have actually used this tool, over what period of time was it used, and what were the results that you achieved in terms of moving teams along?
Oh, it can be very fast. As we said before, is that you work on one of the elements and you will have a positive impact on other elements. You got to understand though that you can have a short-term results, but in order for them to last, we're talking about a change in behavior, and you don't change behavior in 1 week. But for example, we had a customer that 1 week, okay, he was doing very badly, and the week after, okay, they reassess, okay, with the radar, and they were doing excellently. They had one problem. The supervisor who was working with them, we would call it the product owner, if you want, and well, he was always talking and not listening to anybody. Then the project leader in this case just say, okay, they did a little retrospective. They said the problem comes from the supervisor, because say you have to give us a chance to talk. They decided to use what we call the Indian stick. Okay, it's something I showed them to do. Then they say, okay, you have the stick, you speak. You don't have the stick, you don't speak. And within a week, okay, they were excellent all over the place. I'm not sure, okay, it lasts, because it takes a while. But usually when you work with teams, within 2 to 3 months, then let's say 3-4 iterations, usually, okay, they have improved quite a lot. And basically what they do, they improve velocity and they improve value delivery.
Okay.
They also
sorry, go ahead.
They also can detect sooner when there is something awry. If something arrives and that is ruining, for instance, openness, you will see it at once if you do that regularly, if that exercise regularly. And
there's a trick to make it work. You don't wait. Okay, as soon as you have your first meeting with your new team, usually you're talking about new teams. People who work with the same team for a long time, well, usually they end up with good behaviors, or they don't have any success. But you do it very fast, while okay, there's no problem or no bad feeling with respect to how things are going. Okay, well, I am allowed to tell you that I don't think we're open, I don't think you listen to me, or stuff like that. Right at the start, there's no problem. Just say it. You have to do it right at the start, and then do it regularly, and really work, okay, to make it work. But you must understand that Charlotte was talking about the engagement. That people will agree to work on the other 6 behaviors if we take care of their interest. And the key to get them to move into better behaviors is to take care of their interest.
Ah, okay. So do you guys, when you do this with teams, do you do the assessment after each sort of like iteration, and sort of what sort of sizing do you put on your iteration? Is it every week, every 2 weeks? Kind of how do you do that?
Yeah, I would suggest maybe every week is a bit too often.
Yeah, it gets annoying.
But waiting more than 1 month is not enough. Usually we say people, you do it after the iteration, or if you take the iteration are too small, well, do it at least once a month, and share the result. Yeah. Share the result. And again, if you don't do it at the start, okay, then you wait 3 months. 4 months to do that, you will get bad results, and you will have a hard time talking about it. You have to share the results. And
you will have forgotten what happened too. So maybe if it's a precise problem, something that is limited in time, you will not even remember why you ended up there. So if it's too long in between, you will lose track.
And it's very clear to us, based on experience with some customers and people who did it or did not do it, if we don't take care of the behaviors, if we don't say take care of that thing, you won't get the result. You won't improve. There's a customer, I went to see him 2 years after we showed him how to do that. And actually, he was not using that, okay? He used iterations, he used, say, all the methodologies. Okay? He used methodologies, but he did not take care of the behaviors. Then 2 years later, I go there, okay, for a coaching session, and then I ask everyone on his, he has many teams. This is product development teams, and maybe it's around a big team of 35 people. And I asked them, okay, to do the evaluation, to do the Zara radar, and because he had no results, and well, what they found in the Zara radar was awful. It was scattered all over the place.
Yeah.
And I say, well, you did all you have to do with respect to methodologies, but it's not methodologies that will increase, okay, the value delivery. Yeah. You have to address behaviors. Yeah? But it took him 2 years before understanding he had to do that. People are reluctant to go, especially engineers. I'm an engineer, say, well, they're reluctant to. But being a project manager has nothing to do with the engineering. It has to do with the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the largest group that you've done this with?
Right now, we're talking, the largest group was about 35 people.
About 35, okay. And you didn't notice a lot of difference in terms of working with a large group versus a bit of a smaller one?
No, but you see, but what we really tell them is that maybe you're 35, but let's call it 3 or 4 teams. So they separate the deliverables.
There are teams of teams.
And teams of teams. Or scrum.
Okay.
Then it goes, and then you do the same way with the people in charge of the teams, and then you're always not that many people doing the 1 month evaluation. But eventually you don't do that with a team of 35. You do it with the little teams.
So in a case like that, did you notice a difference, like say across the teams, where one team seemed to be more there than the other teams were, or was there a wide variance in that respect, or because they're in the same organization, were all the teams more or less the same?
No, it depends. If they don't have the same project leader or scrum master or whatever it is that they're using, if they don't have the same person taking care of this process, and they don't have the same interest, you won't have the same results. Really, the result that Charlotte showed, where the team was very good. This team, okay, we measured. Okay, this is the result of the first time measurement. But this is a team that we knew that they were working together since 2 years. The same thing, little teams of 10 people, same team since 2 years now. They keep giving them more and more challenging projects because they're very good. Mm-hmm. Then it was some type of a confirmation that teams that perform well even intuitively work on those things. In the same organization, there was a guy, okay, he had a team working, he worked with the thing for a long time. We asked him, okay, to do the assessment with his team. He sent, okay, the worksheet. They fill in the worksheet. He got the result, but he did not share the result. And they were not that good, okay? But it's why if you wait to do that, okay, you're in trouble, because basically it's a judgment on your ability to build your team. Okay?
Right. So we have a couple of questions from the audience.
Sure.
So the first one is, I'll give you both questions, and I'll restate the second one again after we answer the first one. How do the teams feel about being monitored and measured? First question.
Okay,
and the second
very
one
interesting, very important question, because they must not feel it's monitoring and measurement. First, what do we measure? We measure how people feel. Okay? We don't measure individual. We measure the statement of an individual about the team, and then it's not individual measurement. It's measurement of the environment of the team. And also, what I say to people is, this thing that we're using is for the team only. It's not something that you share with management. It's something that the team leader or the scrum master or whatever this person is use with the team to improve, okay, their behavior together. It's not something that you report on. Okay, it's a tool to improve yourself as a team, and it doesn't measure individual. I don't know if it answers.
That's Yeah, no, I think I would suggest that it does, but if the person who asked it feels it doesn't, they can certainly chime back in.
Okay.
The second one is, what would you suggest in terms of introducing this to an existing work team?
Okay, yeah, this is what we have done with everybody.
With some many of the teams were not beginners together.
First, this is what happened with the team, with say the two teams. Okay, that the one very high performing teams. He was very happy. Okay, the team leader to share the results with his team. Then it was an existing team. The other one, okay, was very unhappy. Well, we must understand that we don't do that to judge leadership. We don't do that to judge anything. We just want to look at an environment. There's all kind of things that might go wrong that has nothing to do with individuals. That what we will suggest to a team that's already existing. Well, let's try it together. Let's see if it's something or two that can help us. But really put forward that we are not doing that to measure individual. We do that to improve our relationship. The main culprit is not the team. The main culprit is the team manager, because they can take it personally. This happened to me in another training where people the Zara performance tool. They have 14 questions instead of 14 elements instead of 7. We took the 7 positive one. The other 7 they're the contrary. And I get those people working on the same thing, just filling in the assessment. And there was one who was telling, well, the team is doing great, and another one said the team is very bad. And the person who said the team was doing great was the manager. Then he turned around and asked the other one, okay, why do you think it's not going well? I think it's going well myself. Yeah. And then he got maybe his first feedback from a team member in many months. Or in many years, I don't know, because the guy just told him, well, you think it's going well because it goes like you want it to be. Okay? Then
you never asked how we wanted it.
Yeah. But,
and what was in it for us.
Then what we will suggest in terms of introducing that, we would suggest the team leader to do it in all humility. Because if you have not done that since the beginning, you're going to be badly surprised.
It's not a command and control thing.
No.
It's a collaboration and building together solution thing.
Yeah, in our adaptive strategy framework, we call that co-creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Co-creating solutions.
Exactly. This is exactly the game. Then there's
generative collaboration.
Yeah, there's no boss, there's no manager. We're all in it together, and we try to improve what we're doing. Yeah. Then we will co-create our own environment through those 7 behaviors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So, if there are any other questions before we wrap it up. Okay, guys, this was absolutely fantastic. Wonderful presentation. Good set of questions. Great responses. And I'd like to thank you for being our guest presenters, the very first ones we've had. So that's awesome, and certainly hope to have you back for some future things, because I know you've got lots of things that you're working on. So we'd love to have you back.
Well, thank you for your time, and we hope you enjoyed and learned from this webinar. As long live high-performing teams.
Okay, we believe in you.
All your performing teams.
And we thank you very much, everyone, and we thank you too, Larry, for this great opportunity you gave to us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. So for our listeners, as we mentioned at the beginning, all of the attachments that we've talked about in the webinar, including the slides themselves, are available off the site where you registered for the webinar. So you can certainly go back there and pick it up. You can pick it up now, I believe, while you're still online before you leave for the day. And also, if you don't mind, if you can pass on to your friends and colleagues about what you learned here today, and maybe they'd like to check it out as well. We'd certainly love to see them come visit us as well, and perhaps even come see us on a future session. Anyways, thank you very much, everybody. It was great having you, and we hope to see you next week when we have our Adaptive Strategy Framework Global Launch Event at the same time next Thursday.
And don't miss this one, because this is a real gem.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.